how do you quit worrying so much? All right. So, in life in general, when things don't go the way that we expect them to go, or the way we might imagine, we imagine a certain outcome, or we want a certain outcome, and it might not turn out that way. I'm not alone with this. I know for a fact. And from those experiences, when we don't we feel this sort of uncertainty about the future, what other people might think of us, how things may play out, what's going to happen to my health, what's going to happen with my relationships, what's going to happen with my career, what happens if I lose that job, like all of these common stressors and common worries in the modern society, right, that we have. And I think people throughout history have been worrying about things, right? Like it's a human experience that we share. How do you free your mind from this sort of worrying thing, right? Like from having overthinking, from thinking something bad is gonna happen, right? Because that's basically what worry is. Something bad might happen, something might go wrong. I can only talk from experience and also from what I've been reading and things like that. But from experience, guys, worry in my life always have stemmed from wanting to know a certain outcome. So to get rid of worry, I had to get rid of expecting certain things. You know, of course, imagining good outcomes. Always do that. Imagining that good things are going to come to fruition, right? But not worrying about the future. How to do this? There are some practical ways for doing it. Journaling is great. Meditation is great as well. Exercise is great. Focusing, getting into the flow state where you are in the moment getting better at a specific craft or specific thing. It can be building a business where you're basically in motion. You can get into a flow state by going for a nature walk as well. I find that to be very effective. My mouth is a bit dry, so I'm gonna have an alcohol-free beer, Stella. It's from, where is this one from? I think it's from Spain. It might be. Whatever. It's good. I quit drinking alcohol, guys, almost 3 months ago. So, but it's Friday, so I will enjoy some alcohol-free beer. Um, where were we? Yeah, right. You want to get into a flow state as much as possible, and get rid of that worrying feeling, because that's really what's triggering the worrying thoughts. What we feel, we start to think. You can experiment this with your own life. Uh, I certainly know this to be true. I can't really quote it from a book right now, but I know for a fact that I read it in my studies. I read it multiple times that how we feel is causing what we think. So you want to change the state of your emotions, the flow of your emotions, right? If you're in a very depressed state, which or like a very, very worrisome state where there's a lot of temped up energy in the physique, that's going to trigger certain thoughts as well. For instance, if I sit at home all day in front of the computer and I don't move, I don't get any breathing exercise, right? Breath work in, or I don't get at least a cold shower and a walk. If I don't move the energy in my body where I trigger a new emotional state, my thoughts are going to become depressed because my body is in a depressed state. You have to think about like sitting down for long hours without moving. That's going to cause the body to be depressed. You're depressed of energy. That's going to cause the thoughts as well. That's about depression. Worrying is this stressed energy, right? It's feeling of stress. It can come from dieting. It can come from one experience throughout the day that might have been stressful, and from that experience, that stress response is still stuck in the body, right? So we start creating all these other stress responses, right? What might happen tomorrow? What happens if that goes wrong? But if you just had a different emotional state, that stress, those thoughts wouldn't be there. They would be instead positive, upbringing, good, motivating, happy, right? If you feel happy, you're gonna have happy thoughts. I'm sure you have experienced this in your own life. Like if you're having a bad day, everything seems bad. Nothing is going right. How many times have you heard that? Oh, nothing is going good today. It's just one of those bad days. People say that, not knowing they're responsible for, or perhaps not always responsible for what happens externally. And that's also where we have to start letting go of expectations from other people. So much worry is sometimes caused, especially relationship worries, from the need of controlling other people. Yeah. And not in a, always negative sense, but trying to control how other people view us, or trying to control how other people react, or like circumstances around us, like how other people behave, right? And it's like, I'm gonna tell you, like, it's such a freedom to be able to let go of that and be like, actually, I can't control the outside world all the time. What I can do is I can control my own emotions. I can try to control my own thoughts, although that's a difficult task at times, but certainly can try and get better at it. And I do have some control of how I feel. I can actually change it, right? I can take proactive action. I can get into a flow state where I'm in a place of creativity rather in a place of worry or depression, right? Focusing in on doing something. Now, of course, this is a task that's a bit difficult in today's society with constant distractions everywhere. Doom scrolling, video games, constant instant pleasures everywhere. So getting rid of that worry is mostly about changing your state through action, right? You got to do something active to change what you're feeling in order to start thinking differently. And also letting go of expectations, guys. Trying to make you happy or make yourself happy instead of expecting other people to make you happy. That's a big one as well, guys. That changed a lot for me, especially in relationships. I'm married now, but I know mistakes I did in like past relationships. I was expecting another person to make me happy. And when a person didn't act the way I assumed, because we project a lot, especially in relationships. Like we project certain how we want another person to be and such, right? And if that image sort of shatters, it can be rough for us. Like we worry about our own worth. We can worry about our own confidence. We can worry what the future is going to look like. That's in relations. Same thing can be with like the job. You mess up something at the job. You worry about what's the boss going to think, or do I really have a place here? Get rid of expectations from other people and focus on becoming the greatest version of yourself. Focus on making you happy. And I promise when you do that, the funny thing, what happens? Good things start to happen. People start treating you more with respect. People start gravitating towards you because you're not worried. I have a coach myself, and I was actually talking with him yesterday about this, and how when we seek approval from other people, that's when we get no approval. And when we don't seek approval, that's when we get approval. It's a contradiction, but it is true. it really seems to be true. I know it for my life to be true. I know it for other friends, and you know, I've heard it from other people as well. It really seems to be true. And the same is with worry. The less worried you are, the less things to worry about there is in life, the less outcomes of worry there is. And if you were to be worried about something specific, in most cases, about 90% of the things we worry about aren't even real. I would say 95. It's just that we have too much to think about, too much stress, too much basically control issues, right? Have to let go of all of that, and you're gonna see that there might be some circumstances where a slight worry, or in some cases, if it's like a really dangerous situation where but then fight or flight will be triggered. Not this constant worry. You know what I mean? So in most cases, man, like modern society, like worrying about what's gonna happen with the presidential election, worry what's going to happen with the country, what's going to happen with this, what's going to happen with this, what's going to happen with that person, what's happening in my life. It's just like, boom, it's just like an explosion going off of worrying, right? It's crazy. Like the mind is the most powerful creative force, or like the most destructive weapon that we have. It's like, try to find a way to worry less, and letting go of expectations is a big one. Moving the energy, so that you aren't operating in a fearful or a worrisome state of being. Instead, you try to operate from a happy, fulfilled, content, creative state of being, through habitual actions over time. Things don't always happen overnight, and that's fair. That's how life is, But you gotta earn it. Especially when we've been programmed for so long to always be worrying about things, be fearful about things. You have to sort of reprogram your own mind through consistent effort. Exercise is great, meditation is great, journaling, understanding your own mind, disconnecting from social media, letting go of expectations, focusing on your own creativity, focusing on your own mission, your own purpose. Focusing on just feeling good, guys. Life is supposed to be good, right? Being kind to other people as well is a good thing. I hope this makes sense, guys. Sort of brainstorming a little bit during this video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like and subscribe. You can also recommend a video that you want me to do. Dropping a new daily video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.